Hey there guys, HailPlasma324 and welcome back to Let's Play Katawa Shoujo. In the last part, we finished off Act 1, Life Expectancy, and in this part we are really beginning the Shizune path. In Shizune's Act 2, Learning to Read. And also in the last part, I really revealed what I think about the first act. Not really, but I went more into personal stuff, probably made myself sound like a creep, made a fool of myself, and things like that. So, in this part, let us move on. The next morning, I recall what a perfect night last night was. So much so that I can't stop thinking about it. I don't blame you, Sal. It's probably not the most appropriate time to reminisce, but since I have a test first period. It's so unfair. How can they do this? They hold a festival that is a culmination of what is supposed to be at least the last few weeks of work on a Sunday, then follow it up with exams starting the very next morning? It's gotta be some kind of sick joke. I'm not too worried about it, but I wonder if they couldn't have held off on this for at least another week. Well, at least the weather this morning is nice enough I can study outside before class. It's a lot more refreshing out here than it would be in the classroom. Not to mention with how quiet it is, I'm starting to think that everyone would be sleeping in pretty late today. I put down the notes I'm reviewing for a second time and stare at the school grounds still littered with festival stalls. Looking at them now in the daytime, without paper lanterns or crowds of people to draw my attention away from them, I noticed something peculiar. A lot of the stalls that Shizune, Misha, and I visited last night also happen to be the ones that we worked on. That's cute. Did Shizune come up with this? It had to be intentional, especially knowing her. Did she hope that I would catch on and see the fruit of our labors? I hear footsteps crunching the grass behind me and turn around. I feel slightly paranoid, but all I find is Shizune standing there with an innocuous look on her face. Good morning. Why do I keep forgetting that she can't hear me? It's probably because I've gotten so used to Misha translating for both of us that I haven't actually run into many situations where I was forced to acknowledge Shizune's deafness and the problem that can stem from it. I think yesterday was the first. I give her a wave anyway. I can do at least this much, but I'm not even going to pretend for a minute that I can hold up a conversation with her, considering my ignorance of sign language. Would it be rude to just go back to my notes? I don't really know what else I can do. Where's Misha? That's just because I can't understand you. You two are always together anyway, so I'm not used to seeing you apart. I know it's silly, but for some reason talking to her makes me feel less awkward. Surprisingly, she doesn't get mad at all. She starts signing, but it's different than usual. Shizune's hands move more slowly and the gestures are simpler. I quickly realize that this isn't sign language at all, but she's still attempting to communicate with me. So, is this the sign language equivalent of breaking it down into layman's terms? I'm terrified that if I attempt to gesticulate back, I'd look like a total dumbass. The look on Shizune's face tells me she's starting to think that trying to have any kind of back and forth like this is not exactly the best way to accomplish things. There has to be a better way. Writing on a pad? Well, I do have paper and pencil. What else, though? Cell phones? I don't really have use for mine here, so I barely carry it around. And I don't know if Shizune even has one. It would be very convenient, though, if he did. She takes the initiative, holding up a finger to ask for a pause, before pulling out a pad and pen from her bag and writing a single word on it. Hello. I stare blankly at her and receive a similar but somehow more intimidating stare in response. She nudges the pad in my direction forcefully, clearly wanting me to reply. Good morning. Shizune beams with a disproportionate amount of happiness. She starts twirling her pen triumphantly as she thinks about where to go from here. Come on, it's not like we just invented fire. Shizune pushes up her glasses curtly as if she heard me and then starts writing at a furious pace. Use the notepad. Right. Okay, yeah, I get it. I'm confused. Am I supposed to take it from her and write okay now? This is about the furthest thing that I can imagine from a smooth, flowing conversation. It makes me envy the ease with which Misha is able to communicate with Shizune. Are you studying for the test? I'm pretty sure I can get away with answering simple yes-or-no questions like this with nods. You're here very early. Most people sleep in late after the festival. That means you're abnormal. Is that so? You're here too. Before handing that response back to her, I remembered what I'd noticed earlier in an ad. Yesterday was fun. I noticed today that I built a lot of the stalls we went to. Maybe that's why they were so familiar. Was this another game? She shakes her head from side to side indignantly. No tricks. I thought that because you had made those stalls, they were the most important ones. We had to visit them because everyone should be able to appreciate the fruit of their labors. I wanted you to be able to see and enjoy what you had done. I'm sort of touched. Still, I have to wonder why she goes out of her way to ask as much in my response. Because you were depressed. I want to say that I was depressed for days, but stop. It's true, I was moping quite a bit, and not being too subtle about it half the time either. So it's possible that she knew. Was everything she did just cheer me up then? Thanks. I mumble it before I can catch myself, but Shizune doesn't seem to care. I write it down instead, and she nods once, as if unused to it. The silence between us grows more vast with each passing second, and there's nothing I can do to break it. Having to write everything down on paper kind of destroys any hope of trying to be casual. Good luck on the exam. Shizune pushes the pad right in front of my eyes, breaking concentration, taking the initiative again, as always. As she walks into the school building, I can't help feeling a little sad. That felt like the longest 20 minutes of my life, and all because it's so alien to me to have a face-to-face conversation with someone by passing notes to each other that I can't help coming up blank most of the time. It makes me want to learn sign language. That's easier said than done, although in a school like Yamaku, they might very well have sign language classes. In that case, there'd be little reason not to pursue this. The only person I can think to ask at the moment is Misha. How badly do I want to know this? There are two options. Wait until after class, or go look for her now. I guess I'll go now, but I'm not certain where she is. My best bet would be to start searching for her in the girls' dorm now. After all, if she wasn't with Shizune, that's probably the only place where she would be. A guy casually prowling around the girls' dorm early in the morning is unacceptable, but asking Misha about sign language classes in front of Shizune would be just unthinkable. She has to come to school sometime. After all, we're in the same class, so she too has to take this test. If I wait here, I'll be sure to see her sooner or later. I just hope she doesn't walk past me while I'm flipping through my notes. It turns out to be a pretty long wait. As students file into the school, I wonder if Misha is going to be late. Eventually, I catch sight of her. While she bounces across the grounds, it hits me that I have to be blind to miss her with her incredibly distinctive hair. Hi, Hee-chan. Good morning. Morning. I don't have a lot of time left before class starts, so I cut directly to the chase. Hey, can I ask you a question? Question? Okay, Hee-chan. Sure. I have time, but only because I'm late. What does that mean? I should have woken up early, but I was so tired. If I had, I would have had to study, but I didn't, But since I didn't, it won't hurt. What is it, Hee-chan? Well, there are sign language classes here, right? Yep, they're electives. Why do you want to know, Hee-chan? For some reason, that question briefly makes me panic. No reason. It sounds interesting, but I guess it's too late to sign up now, right? Not exactly being too subtle here, but Misha never seems to pick up on things like that anyway, so I'm probably being more cautious than is necessary. Oh well, Hee-chan, I've heard there are fewer and fewer students taking sign language every year. So if you want to, I'm sure they will let you in. Are you thinking of learning sign language, Hee-chan? Yeah. If you learn sign language, Hee-chan, that would make Hee-chan really happy. If you want, we can go to the teacher's office after school. They'll probably let you in. That would be great. Don't tell Shizune that I won't learn it, though. Why not? So it can be a surprise. Besides, it'll look bad if you tell her this morning, then I found out in the afternoon that I can't take the classes. Aw, you're right, Hee-chan. Still, this would be hard. It's such good news. I'm in the student council, so I might as well try learning it, even if it's just the basics. It'd be a step up from nothing. Besides, Shizune can't, and I can't keep relaying everything through use of your phone or something, right? Wahahaha! You're right, Hee-chan. The bell rings to signal the start of first period, cutting the conversation short. I guess I'll just ask a teacher after classes are through. Her reaction was a little strange, but I forget about it as the day goes on. I'm pretty sure that's not passing of day, but whatever. The bell rings and the teacher at the front of the room gestures that the classes are over for the day. Although getting into this class was surprisingly easy, it's only been a few days and I'm still not used to the experience. Oh, it has been a few days. The actual signing is easier to pick up than I expected, but most of my classmates are hard of hearing. On top of that, the teacher favors immersion. I haven't heard her speak since I asked if I could take the class. It's an alien concept and really unnerving. The moment I step into the classroom, I hear a familiar laugh explode through the air in a short distance to my left. Hi, Hee-chan. Misha's not in my sign language class. This is the first time I've seen her in this context. I still don't know whether her not being in my class is good or bad. It would be more interesting with her in it, but the potential for awkward situation would increase drastically. Hi. Surprised to see you here, Hee-chan. Oh, that's right. You're taking sign language, aren't you? Right? What do you think of it so far, Hee-chan? It's not easy to learn a new language, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. Goddamn. Despite how different it is from other languages, it's still easier than English. Ha! That was terrible. Haha, really, Hee-chan? I agree. I was just joking, but she's apparently totally serious. Wonder how Misha can effortlessly translate things to me while simultaneously having a conversation with Shizune like she does. Until now, I've taken for granted how amazing it is. Someone bumps in my shoulder and apologizes. It's getting kind of crowded here, with it being the end of the day and all. I think we should talk somewhere else instead of the hallway. Let's go to the roof or something. Okay. I decided to continue talking on the way. It's surprisingly quiet enough to carry on a conversation while doing so. It's still taking me some time to get used to having to look at the teacher constantly. I guess it took all those years of simply listening to the lectures while I doodled for granted. Makes taking notes a lot more difficult, too. The introductory class is small, and I'm already behind, because I have a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, this is much better. I turned around to look back at Misha and see her staring at me with her hands on her hips and cheeks puffed outwards. Hichan, you're behind? That's not good at all. I started the class a week later than everyone else. It's not that bad. Okay, Hichan, let's review what you learned then. I'll tutor you, okay? This is the first time I've heard "I'll tutor you" used outside of dirty movies. I'm not nearly as turned on as I'd have expected. I forgot that he said that. Apparently I didn't pay attention to the text as much as I thought I did. I don't know if I need a tutor yet. Aww. She looks more disappointed than usual. It makes me feel awkward to see her making that kind of face. I want to be a sign language teacher, Hichan, but it would be really great if I could try tutoring someone in it first. Even if for a little while, the experience would be valuable. Well, yeah, that's true. I didn't know you wanted to be a sign language teacher. It's hard to believe that she isn't intentionally trying to make me feel guilty, because she's very good at it. Still, it makes sense. She's very good at sign language from what I've seen, and certainly has the voice for dealing with the hearing impaired. I never saw her as the teaching type, though. Ha ha ha! That's the reason I wanted to go to this school, Hichan. It's also really expensive to attend here, you know. Because I want to be a sign language teacher, I have reduced tuition fees. If it wasn't for that, I don't know if I'd be able to keep going here. I see. It's not that you'd think you'd be bad at tutoring. It's not that I think you'd be bad at tutoring. It's just that I don't know if I need it just yet. You're right, Hichan. You're smart. Well, no, that just makes me sound arrogant. All right, please tutor me. Ha ha ha! Really? Okay. Yeah, thanks, Hichan. I'll do my best. Let's start right now. Too soon. I miss Hichan. Didn't you just see her this morning? But it's hard not to talk to her in class, Hichan. There's no student council today either. Well, there have been exams all week. It'd be kind of mad if there was still student council. I'll be glad when they're over. Wait us back. You're not going to skip out, right, Hichan? Of course, I'm in it after all. Don't worry, I'm not just going to suddenly stop showing up. A promise is a promise. Misha pauses for a second, not looking very convinced. Hichan takes the student council very seriously, Hichan. Now that you've joined, she works harder than before. She works harder than before because she wants to make a good impression. Some other people joined at first, but they stopped coming soon after. Hichan tried to get more people interested in the student council, but wasn't successful. Even when someone would join, they'd stop coming eventually. They'd make excuses to just put it off more and more until they stopped coming altogether. However, I believe that you really mean it, Hichan. My eyes stay focused on her hands, tilting and moving up and down as if they're almost of their own free will, softly signing everything she is saying to herself as she speaks. When you said you would join, she was really happy. Hichan thinks you're interesting, Hichan. An uninteresting person wouldn't have the drive needed to join. Even if they do, a person that isn't interesting will quit soon after. That's what Hichan said. So, it's my duty to make sure you keep going. Is that why you want to tutor me? You're kind of sneaky. Really, Hichan? It's the first time anyone said that about me. Ah! There's no chance that I would avoid student council work now. Thinking back over the past few days, I started to realize the only reason I joined in the first place was because of Shizune. Her competitiveness and her force of will are alluring. I can't tell Misha that, though. Okay, Hichan, let's review what you learned in class today. You don't even know what I learned in class today. You're right, Hichan. Okay, let's start with the basics then. Teach you everything from the beginning. You're kidding, right? Huh? You're serious. That's like days of lessons, and we're not even learning on the same level. It's like riding a bike, Hichan. You never forget the basics. I don't know how to ride a bike, though. Oh, no. Right. I want to be a teacher one day, so of course I know what I'm doing. Okay. We're starting. She looks like she's trying very hard, so this could be bad. Well, learning a language is vastly different from teaching it. The first step is usually the hardest part. Honestly, I couldn't do any better. Still, sign language was formally introduced in the 18th century by a Frenchman named, whose name I can't pronounce. They started the first public school for the deaf in 1755, but the unwritten history of sign language is said to I don't really know where to start. Sorry. Well, what better place than the history of sign language, right? Right. No, wait, maybe the alphabet. Okay, the alphabet it is then. Okay, Hichin, it's pretty basic stuff, although some people think that this is all of signing, and forget there are all kinds of specific gestures and words. Although you really can't get anywhere without the basics. This is A. Do you see it? Now you try. I already know this, though. I humor her anyway. Ha! Yeah, that's it. Now this is B, and this is C. Misha makes one symbol with each hand, without specifying which is which. And now D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Yeah, this is bad. You think Shizune wants to do some student council work today anyway? We could go. Of course not, Hichan. Come on, do it again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, your turn. So there's really no student council work that needs doing, or anything like that? What are you talking about, Hichan? Come on, sign! Like this? No, like this. Like this. Uh-huh. I wish Hichan was here. This would be so much easier with her. Haha. That's how sign language is taught most of the time anyway, with 2 instructors. Did you know that, Hichan? No. I let my brain run through what this would be like if Shizune were here. Hichan, are you paying attention? Yeah. Hichan says the sign language is different from any other because you have to think about everything before you say it. This means every word has more weight, Hichan. Every single one is more important than normal. So, pay attention, please. She continues her basic rundown of the basics of sign language. Eventually, starts talking about stuff I start to recognize. In the end, I'm impressed. It took a bit of stumbling to get here, but as a teacher, she's pretty good when she's serious. After a while, I start to notice that it's getting late, so I thank Misha, bid her goodbye, and go back to my dorm. I learned a lot today. Yeah, pretty simple day. Get some more water. I'm jolted awake by a thunderous banging sound coming from my door. My first thought is, it could be Shizune. After all, only a deaf person or a jackass would knock that loudly at this hour. Who is it? Of course, if it's Shizune, she wouldn't be able to hear that or answer it. There's no reply, so I'm kind of pleased. I haven't seen Shizune in a while. Opening the door, I find Kenji standing out in the hall, his eyes nervously darting from side to side. So, it was a jackass. Oh, it's you. Yeah, it's me. What kind of reaction is that? Well, I'd be able to give you a more personalized response if you had answered when I asked who it was. Kenji fronts and pushes up his glasses exactly like Shizune. Why are you making that weird face? I wonder how he's been able to see me making a face now, yet wasn't able to the millions of other times I reacted to something weird he has said or done. I kind of want to pursue this, but I'm too tired to actually do it. Shizune pushes the glasses up just like that. You know, the student council president? It's just a little weird. What the hell? Do you mean there's a girl who does the same thing? You mean that she touches the glasses? I do that. That's my thing. Who is this bitch? Why are bitches all up in my business, stealing what I do? His character flips from anger to fear in a blink of an eye. She trying to replace me? Pod people? No, wait, that's an exact copy. Pod women? It's like my 2 greatest fears combined. It is. I can't believe he has a point. Okay, are you gonna go into town today? Maybe later. Okay, awesome. I have stuff I want you to pick up for me at the post office. Some delicate and secret stuff. He speaks in a whisper as if talking about his mail in an even normal tone of voice would jeopardize it. You can have your mail sent directly here, you know. No, you can't. You can have your mail sent to the school, and then the student council picks it up and they give it to you. It's not the same as the mail appearing in your hands. I don't trust the student council. Many dudes don't get their mail here, you know. Probably steal, though. They think it's just because it's sent to them. They have a license to steal. I can see them now, elbow deep in mail, fast grabbing all the free swag and get a hold on. Sickening. Where can I find this mailman who can conjure mail out of thin air and into your hands? I don't know. I bet the student council killed them to preserve their monopoly on all the students' shit. It doesn't work that way. Is that what you wanted, though? Fine, I can pick up your mail for you, but eventually I'm going to have to collect all these favors. You already owe me some money. Thanks for reminding me. I'll pay you back after I get my package. Yeah, my bad. I can't really pay you until then. I'm still broke. Then I'm basically doing it for money, like a job. Why do you need the package first? There's money in the package? Nah. I am seriously dumbfounded. Why can't you get it? Because I'm going to remodel my room today into a war room. As the days go by, I realize more and more how dangerous feminism is. It really is everywhere, even in places like Iran. I can't tell how far up it goes. When the war begins, if we haven't transcended the concept of nations to fight for our genders, it will be chaos. No one will know Who will take what side? And a war against feminism wouldn't mean World War III, but the end of all life on Earth as we know it. If we lose, all our supple Japanese women will be raped and enslaved by a bunch of sociopathic lesbian supremacists. Oh, Jesus. Kenji, you crazy fucker. Meanwhile, the handful of men that didn't die in the war will be castrated and forced to repair toilets and build massive monuments commemorating the feminist victory. That's crazy. You're crazy. I think you're overthinking this. As the days go by, I realize more and more that you are not bawling. We've only talked like 4 times. Oh, sorry. Yeah, whatever. I'll get your package. Awesome. I close the door and jump right back into bed. The second my head hits the pillow, a painfully loud ringing assaults my ears, and I realize it's my clock. The alarm going off means right now is the time I'm supposed to wake up at the first place. On weekdays, at least. I pick it up and throw it without looking up. It gets wedged between the bed and the wall, the noise not stopping. In fact, it seems to grow louder. By the time I'm able to pry it out of there, and I know I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep. The only thing I can think of doing now is going into town and just getting Kenji's stupid package, but it's too early for that. After showering, I take my medication. I'm actually very hungry today since I went without dinner yesterday, and before that I had a very light lunch. I eat the pills, chopping down on them like a leg of lamb. They're unbelievably bitter and disgusting. Well, good medicine tastes bad, or something like that. I'm still hungry, and there's still a lot of time to kill, so I decide to go into town and find somewhere to have some breakfast. I can't remember the last time I ate out. I'm not going to go into that. Besides, the weather is nice, so why not? The walk into town was longer than I remember, possibly because it's been a while, and probably because I rarely come here alone. There are barely any cars on the road because it's so early in the morning, making it unusually quiet. The first thing I do is start looking for a place to eat. Immediately I think of the Shanghai, but I want something more substantial than sandwiches or a cake. Since it's so early, though, I decide to get Kenji's package first. Picking it up at the post office doesn't take very long, but the moment I see it, I'm enraged about what a pain in the ass it will be to carry this thing all the way back to the school. The box is huge. You need 2 hands to hold it. Insultingly, it's not even very heavy. I was thinking of wandering around for a little while, but with this thing in tow, that's going to be a real problem. I guess the Shanghai is my only option now. Everything else is closed, and the ones that aren't all have about the same menu. That fact also makes me want to throw some more business Yuko's way. Before I can even open the door and enter, someone taps me on the shoulder from behind. I turn around and see Shizune there. Instinctively, I look for Misha, but she doesn't seem to be there. Good morning. Looks like those sign language classes are really starting to pay off. I'm tempted to sign it back, but then she might think I know a lot more than I actually do. For now, I just give her a wave and open the door. She's probably here for her morning tea and didn't come here just to greet me. It turns out I'm right, as Shizune follows me inside the tea house. It's a total ghost town here. It's not exactly peak hours, but every other cafe I'd passed had at least a few customers. Actually, the Shanghai's been fairly empty every time I passed by. How does this place stay in business? Hello. Thank you for choosing to patronize our establishment. Yuko bows with the force of a falling axe, and her head collides with the box in my hand, launching it toward the floor. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Sorry. Please forgive me. It's okay. You don't have to do that hello. Thanks for choosing our shop thing since we know you. But it's part of my job. You're here early. What can I get you? I just want some coffee for now. I wonder what Shizune wants. Without Misha, there's no real way to tell or any way to even ask. I haven't learned about that yet. She's here, so I'm pretty sure that she wants something too. Or, I don't really know what Shizune wants. Does she have a usual? Wait, she might want something else, though. Perhaps she should bring us a menu just in case. I look around for one, but can't find anything that looks remotely like a menu. Menus. I'll look for one right now. Huh? There are menus. They're just rare. It's only a restaurant menu, not a collector's edition. Weird. Is that what Shizune is saying? Nah, she can't hear you. It's just weird for a cafe to make you have to go out of your way to look for a menu. Weird. Yes, you're right. It's so illogical. There are so many things, like, why is it called the Shanghai? This is a Western-style tea house, but the name is Chinese, and the architecture is old-fashioned, but my uniform is so modern and sophisticated. She looks like she's about to pass out. If she does, she'll probably fall forward and make a mess of everything. I can't work here anymore. What a bad place for her circular train of logic to end up. No, come on, that kind of stuff is what sets this place apart. There are a lot of cafes around here, you know. I think it's charming, really. Please don't quit. Business is good here, isn't it? Not really. See, I think this is the job for you. It suits you. You shouldn't quit. I never had to defuse this kind of crisis before. Eventually, I managed to calm her down and convince her that I'm sure Shizune just wants what she usually orders here. Yuko walks away to get her drinks, and by then, Shizune has already picked the table. There are no other customers, and Yuko isn't the most talkative person, so it's very quiet. It doesn't really bother me, but I wish there was some way we could communicate. There are so few moments when we're alone. Shizune and Misha are almost always together, to the point where sometimes it seems like they are one. Now it's just me and her, and I'm unable to understand her or have her understand me. It's terrible. You don't have your little notepad today? I know it's the weekend and all, but it's not like you to be unprepared. Well, that's fine. I don't really like using it anyway. Still, it wouldn't come in handy now. Shizune starts signing in short bouts punctuated by her stopping to take a sip of tea. It's strange how she doesn't make the slightest attempt to change how she normally acts. I'm talking to her for the most part because I'm not used to long silences. I briefly wonder if it's the same for her, in a way. However, it seems unlikely. I think it's more that she is the type who doesn't change how she acts for anyone. Hey, it seems like Misha joined the student council because of you. That makes the two of us, you know. I'm only here because you forced me into it. Well, not really forced, I guess. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have joined. That sounds slightly romantic, and I find myself blushing a little. I feel like such an idiot. Although, I still don't know why you joined. Should have been the first thing I asked in retrospect, and I'm really curious. I'll have to remember to ask Misha sometime. It's nice to talk to you, even if you can't understand me. I wonder if it's the same for you. That would be really great. I don't think sign language will ever be as natural for me as Misha makes it look, but it's gotta be a step up from using pen and paper, right? We both then finished with our drinks for a while, and Shizune's eyes fall upon the box sitting in a chair by my side. I'm just picking up for someone, it's not mine. Shizune pulls it close to me, intending to open it. My heart almost leaps out of my throat. I quickly try to pull it back by wrapping my legs around the leg of the chair. What the hell, don't open it. You can't just open other people's mail, that's not legal. No! Once she gets going, there's almost no stopping her. Eyes filled with excitement, she looks ready to fight me over the stupid package, and I realize just how fast this could turn into a game of tug-of-war. I'm almost out of my seat now and waving my arms like an air traffic controller before she finally settles down. Shizune pouts, not very pleased with having her curiosity checked, and gets up to leave. It's about time to go, I guess. We've been here a while. I protectively pick up the box before standing up myself. Suddenly, she tenses her fingers excitedly and pulls out a marker from her pocket and starts writing on Kenji's box. Hey, what are you doing? I said this isn't mine. Hey! I can't even see her with it blocking my vision. Fine, at least let me put it down first. I have to read whatever she's writing anyway. I'll help you carry it. Doesn't seem like she's finished though, and Shizune draws a fierce line afterward to signify that there's a catch. But it's a game. The first one to stumble loses, and the loser has to carry it the rest of the way by themselves. That's stupid. There's a 50% chance I'll end up carrying it myself anyway. Actually, I feel pretty stupid right now. I just forgot she can't hear me. I stopped talking and shake my head. I can't understand her at all, but she's coming across very forcefully. It's clear that she thinks it's a great idea. Well, if she drops a box or something, she'll have to carry it. That would make things a lot easier for me, obviously. The odds are 50-50 then. They're probably higher than they would be for any other plan of hers. Alright, I'll take it. Thinking about it, I'm not sure how we should do this. Then Shizune grabs hold of one end of the box and lifts it up. I take the side that she isn't holding. Is this even right? It's very uncomfortable to walk like this. We leave the cafe and I find myself hoping that the streets are devoid of people. Yuko seemed confused as to what we were doing, and I imagine it'll only get worse as more people see us. Shizune doesn't seem bothered at all while walking with her arm at this unnatural angle. She just grins confidently and periodically makes some kind of weird gesture. There are people staring at us as time passes, and the usual warning crowd begins to fill the streets. I feel silly, but I'm sure that if I give up, Shizune will take it as a sign of surrender. I can't allow that because I'm doing well so far. Initially, I just write Shizune's little hand signals off as her preemptively gloating, but I catch on quickly that she's actually signaling where she wants to go. It dawns on me that this isn't a competition. It's not much of a challenge, first of all, and second, it's really more of an exercise in teamwork. It's just that Shizune has made a punishment for failing instead of a reward for doing well. Our fingers touch under the box, and Shizune moves her hand away, almost dropping her side of the box in the process. Well, that's game over for her. She doesn't look very happy. Does she think I did it on purpose to make her lose? If she does, she isn't making a big deal out of it. All's fair in love and war. I feel like I should take it from her anyway and carry it myself, but she pushes me away when I try. She glares at me as if to tell me off, but she can't. With that box in her hand, she's basically gagged. A sad expression flickers across her face for a moment, maybe on realizing that and having to acknowledge that there are only some limitations she has to deal with after all. However, she's still as prideful as ever, even when it's to her detriment. She wouldn't accept letting me allow her to skip on the consequences of her bet. And with that, I believe I will stop this part. So, next time on Let's Play Katawa Shoujo, we will Shizune will take the package back to the school. We'll probably learn a little bit more sign language. And most likely talk to Misha and Shizune. And maybe, eventually, we'll actually talk to Shizune in sign language. So, until then, take care, and keep on signing.